Conor McGregor, Jon Jones, War Machine, 8 UFC fighters, 8 shocking crimes. Some are in prison.
War Machine was sentenced today to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 36 years.
He tells us that you're the wrong guy.
Others walk free, but every story left permanent damage to victims, families, reputations, from changed lives to lost lives. Let's start with number 8, and I promise you, it only gets darker from here, so viewer discretion is absolutely advised. Number 8, Raja Jackson. When performance becomes violence. Quinton Rampage Jackson's son, Raja Jackson, had lineage, attention, and potential. But his 2025 assault at a pro wrestling event showed how fast aggression can turn from performance to crime. During a show in Los Angeles, Raja entered the ring unannounced and violently attacked a performer, Psycho Stu. He slammed him to the mat and then struck him repeatedly, more than 20 blows, even after the man lost consciousness. The victim suffered a broken jaw, fractured facial bones, and multiple lost teeth. Police eventually arrested Raja Jackson after a controversial period on felony battery causing serious bodily injury. He now faces possible prison time, but here's the chilling part. After his arrest, he took to social media not to apologize, but to mock critics, claim self-defense, and hint at a comeback. The denial wasn't just defense, it became defiance. Now, Quinton Jackson himself has had mixed reviews of what happened. He went from defending his son to saying he disowned his son, and then bailing his son out and saying he shouldn't face any more consequences. So it's all over the place. But the final end to this story is still yet to be told, which is something we will be keeping an eye on. Number 7, Cedric Dumas, the rising storm. Cedric Dumas has over a dozen arrests since 2024. The man has more arrests than fights, but April 2025 was different. That month, Dumas allegedly forced entry into his ex-girlfriend's home in Escambia County, Florida. He kicked open doors, grabbed her phone, threw her into a large vase, stole her jewelry, and fled. Initially hiding in a dog crate behind the property, police found a handgun among his belongings and illegal narcotics in his vehicle. The charges: felony home invasion, weapons possession by a convicted felon, controlled substance possession, battery. Bond was set at $558,500. Here's the danger. He is still active in the UFC, training and fighting. While these legal storm clouds gathered, the man who knocked out opponents in the ring was now launching violent assaults outside. And for some reason, even though he does have a career in MMA, he just can't stop getting into these type of activities. Now, if you think multiple arrests are bad, number 6, violence was so severe it ended his NFL career, but somehow he still made it into the UFC. Number 6, Greg Hardy, redemption denied. Greg Hardy was once a name of athletic dominance, but in 2014, his private violence became public scandal. His then girlfriend testified that Hardy threw her onto a bed laden with assault rifles, strangled her, and threatened her life. He was convicted, but the conviction was later vacated after the accuser stepped away from the testimony. The NFL suspended him. Years later, he transitioned into MMA and made it into the UFC. Hardy claimed he had reformed, but for many, his entry into combat sports felt like a loophole, letting his athletic talent overshadow his violent past. He never served serious jail time, but his legacy is marred. A man who inflicted pain, avoided accountability, and reemerged in public spotlight. As unhinged as this behavior is, the next case makes this look tame. Number 5, Luis Pena, the collapse of a violent Bob Ross. Pena's arc was tragic, from beloved personality to criminal cautionary tale. In mid-2021, he was arrested twice in quick succession. first for battery and robbery, reportedly assaulting a woman and forcibly taking her belongings, then months later for domestic violence. Allegations include punching, biting, yes, I said biting, and assaulting his partner and anyone who intervened. He lost his UFC contract after this. The man who once charmed with hair and humor now sat in courtrooms battered by his own demons. Pena admitted to mental health struggles and substance issues, but admissions cannot undo his violence. The next three fighters aren't just criminals, they're household names whose crimes shocked the world. Comment below which case you think is number 1. Number 4. Jon Jones, when greatness self-destructs. Jon Jones is a genius in the Octagon, but outside, his life reads like tragedy in motion. In 2015, he was involved in a hit-and-run accident with a pregnant woman. He fled the scene. Police later found cash and marijuana in his car. He lost his title, was suspended, then returned. But perhaps the darkest moment came in September 2021. Jones was arrested on charges of domestic battery and injuring or tampering with a vehicle after allegedly becoming physical with his fiancée. According to the arrest report, his children were present and visibly upset. Jones allegedly headbutted a patrol car, damaging it during the arrest. In court, he took a plea deal, but refusal to take full accountability has become a pattern. His brilliance was overshadowed by impulses he could not or would not restrain. Speaking of lack of accountability, number 3 is neck to neck in that race. This case went to civil court. The evidence presented made jaws drop. Here's what happened. Number 3, Conor McGregor, the fall from empire. McGregor's case is complex and shocking in its details. It demands full reckoning. In 2024, an Irish High Court jury awarded nearly €250 to Nikita Hand, finding McGregor liable of assault in a 2018 Dublin hotel penthouse. Her testimony was haunting. She said McGregor pinned her down, choked her multiple times, and despite her pleas, he continued. She recounted extreme bruises across her body, arms, thighs, chest, legs. Paramedics called her injuries among the worst they had seen. One piece of evidence stood out in court. Again, viewer discretion is advised. A tampon was discovered lodged deep within her and had to be removed by forceps. According to Dr. Daniel Kane's testimony, it was wedged 5 to 6 inches in and was disintegrated when removed. McGregor denied it. He said no tampons was present. He claimed their encounter was consensual, athletic, full of energy. He portrayed bruises as possibly from a fall into a bathtub. She said she never would have had intercourse while wearing a tampon. The tampon's presence became a key battleground for credibility. In his appeal, the Court of Appeal in July 2025, McGregor challenged jury instructions, evidence rulings, and whether the judge correctly framed the issue. The court rejected his appeal, reaffirming that the jury's verdict must stand. Through it all, McGregor's image, multi-billion-dollar brand, global icon, definitely fractured. The fight world, the media, the legal system all watched a titan fall. If you're still watching, you're still in the top 25 of viewers. The final 2 cases involve life sentences. These men will never walk free again. Number 2, Joe Son, Perdition's quiet mask. Joe Son's UFC run might have been a footnote. His crimes outlived the record. On Christmas Eve, 1990, he and an accomplice abducted a woman, threatened her life, tortured, and raped her, and released her blindfolded hours later. For years, the case went cold, but in 2008, DNA evidence linked Son to the crime. He was arrested, tried, and convicted of torture. While in prison, he became a predator again, murdering his cellmate by violent blunt trauma in 2011. He is currently serving life without parole. No rematch, no redemption. The fighter became a horror. If Joe Son is darkness, War Machine is its eruption. Number 1, Jonathan Copenhaver, War Machine, the monster inside the man.
Local MMA fighter wanted for a vicious attack on his ex-girlfriend is behind bars tonight.
Is a brand new jailhouse photo of the San Diego MMA fighter known as War Machine.
In 2014, Copenhagen forced his way into the home of his ex-girlfriend, Christy Mack, and her friend, Corey Thomas. Over hours, he brutalized both, punching, choking, sexual assault, beatings until unconsciousness. He told Mack she belonged to him. He shattered her bones, knocked out her teeth, left her gasping for air. She escaped naked, battered to a neighbor's door. At trial in 2017, the jury convicted him on 29 felony counts: kidnapping, sexual assault, battery. His sentence: life in prison, with parole possibly only after 36 years. He never begged for forgiveness though. In letters from prison, he raged at being betrayed. The man who stepped into the octagon seeking dominance instead made submission, terror, and ruined his legacy. To let you know, these stories are all summarized due to the graphic details, which I tried to be as accurate as possible, but it's probably worse than I could describe. There are several stories and documentaries, and I'll be working on some of them individually. 9 fighters, 9 stories of reach lost, boundaries broken, humanity betrayed, from Jackson's live assault to Dumas' rising storm to McGregor's courtroom collision to War Machine's final collapse. These are not separate tragedies. They are echoes of what happens when strength becomes unchecked, when aggression spills beyond competition, when violence becomes identity. The cage could never contain these men's demons. It only exposed them.